Hey, I'm Chris Carlisle. Welcome to the podcast Highways and Byways. That's a podcast about Texas. This week, the American Indian tribes of Texas, places you can go to in Beaumont, places you can eat burgers in Texas, and what happened in Texas back in 2006. Now, here's a look at some of the American Indian tribes throughout Texas history. First, it's the Comanche, who were formidable warriors, skilled horsemen, skilled traders, and controlled commerce of the southern plains. They came from a branch of the Shoshones in Wyoming. Next is the Kickapoo traditional tribe of Texas. They were known as fierce warriors. They were also spiritually connected with animals and had special ceremonies when it came to hunting. The Kickapoo traditional tribe of Texas is one of three recognized Kickapoo tribes. Then there's the Alabama Coushatta. They moved from where Alabama is now to where East Texas is now in 1780. They fought in both the Mexican and Texan revolutions. They have a reservation in East Texas with a full sovereign government, first responders, police, and health care. The Caddo were farmers. They made pottery and baskets. They also hunted with bows and arrows. Their homes were domes that were made of grass and a wood frame. They had a complex social structure, had a matrilineal kinship system, practiced polytheistic religion, and had complex trade networks. The Aquilatacan lived in South Texas. They were nomads who were hunter-gatherers. They helped build the Alamo, and they were decimated by slavery and smallpox. The Karankawa were nomads who lived on the Gulf Coast between where Corpus Christi and Galveston are now. They lived in wigwams, made baskets and pottery, used longbows and arrows for hunting and in battle. They also got guns from shipwrecks or raids of vessels. The Kiowa were nomads, hunter-gatherers, and lived in teepees. They also rode horses for hunting and in battle. And they made raids north into Canada and south into Mexico. The Apache were nomads who lived around the buffalo. They ate buffalo meat, used buffalo skins for clothes, and used buffalo hides for tents. The Atacapa were said to be cannibals. But they also ate bears, alligators, deer, clams, ducks, and turtles. They also grew pumpkins, beans, squash, and sunflowers. They lived along the Gulf Coast. Now, places you can go to in Beaumont. There's a Texas Energy Museum that tells the history of the Texas oil industry with photographs and maps. There is the Art Museum of Southeast Texas that provides education, inspiration, and creative vision throughout Southeast Texas. Oil was first found in Texas at Spindletop near Beaumont, and there is a Spindletop Gladys City Boomtown Museum. At the museum, they have reenactments of life during the oil boom. It's open Tuesday to Saturday from 10 in the morning to 5 in the evening, and on Sunday from 1 in the afternoon until 5 in the evening. It's closed on Mondays. There is a fire museum of Texas. It's in an old-fashioned firehouse and has a collection about the history of fire departments in Texas. And if you like the outdoors, there is the Beaumont Botanical Gardens, the Cattail Marsh Scenic Wetlands, and Boardwalk, and a lot more. Now, here are places to eat burgers in Texas. There are some places in central Texas where I live that I have eaten burgers at. There is a Highway 77 Cafe in Rosebud where I grew up, the Oscar Store in Oscar, Green Sausage House in Zobchikville, Rattleboro Country Grill in Rattleboro, the Old Jody's, Rylander's Old Fashioned Burgers, Crow's Burger Shop, Big Chew Burgers, and Wes's Burger Shack in Temple. I think I also ate at Whiz Bang's Burgers in Waco. Here are some other burger places in Texas. There is a Galaxy B&G in Killeen, B-Town Burgers in Belton, Bub's BBQ and Burgers in Moody, NADC Not a Damn Chance a Burger and Salt and Thyme in Austin, Burger Bodega, Burger Chan, and Satin City Blues in Houston, Keller's Drive in Skyrocket in Dallas, Mr. Juicy in San Antonio, and Joe's Grill in Fort Worth. Here's what happened in Texas in 2006. There were 26 tornadoes hit North Texas. There was flooding in West Texas. And like we got going on right now, there were wildfires in the Panhandle. Governor Rick Perry was reelected in the governor's election, and Senator K. Bailey Hutchison was reelected to the Senate in the midterm elections. There was flooding in North Texas. Texas beat USC in the Rose Bowl and won the 2005 national championship. Houston Dynamo won the MLS Cup in their first year in Houston. Tony Stewart won the Dickies 500 for NASCAR's Nextel Cup Series. Kurt Busch won the O'Reilly 300 for NASCAR's Xfinity Series. And I went to an Astros game and also a WWE house show in Waco just before WrestleMania 22. There are some things before I go. From the second book of Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 9. My grace is all you need, for my power is the greatest when you are weak. Here's something from Reddit Air, put out oil fires. I've traveled all over the world, but I don't think there is any place better than Texas. Here's something from the late Reverend Grady Nutt, who used to be on Hee Haw. Laughter is the hand of God on a troubled world. Thank you for listening. You've been listening to the podcast Highways and Byways. I'm Chris Carlisle. I wrote and recorded this podcast as well as hosted it. You can hear it on Spotify, Google Podcasts, CastBox, Podcast Addict, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Audible, Deezer, Podchaser, and YouTube. Don't forget to hit the download button, leave a like, and follow or subscribe. Thank you, and come back now.